Hey, everybody, this is Lance, your Sacramento private investigator and process server. And we are having a question and answer session tonight. A question and answer session about process serving. So, if you got any questions, post them in the chat and I'll be able to answer them for you. But we're having a process server question and answer session. So we're live streaming on TikTok and on YouTube. So we're doing multiple platforms today, TikTok and YouTube. So let me know where you're from, whether or not you are a process server, and we can get started. Because, my name is Lance. I'm a process server in Sacramento, and I get paid to deliver legal papers. And what a process server does is we participate in court actions by delivering legal papers. And when we deliver these legal papers, it's notifying the other party that they are involved in some type of lawsuit, or they're a witness to a not a crime, but a incident where they're required to come and testify in court. So basically, that is what a process server does. So hold on, we're going to see if anybody else wants to join. Comment where you're from. Comment where you're from. Comment where you're from. Yeah. Okay, Judgment Recovery. Hello, how you doing? How you doing? Let's see here. Comment where you're from. And if you are a process server, let us know. Or if you're thinking about becoming a process server, let us know. Anybody on here? Okay, everybody's over here on TikTok and YouTube. YouTube and TikTok. We got it going here. So let's get going with this. Different states have different requirements to become a process server. California, there is no training required. Hey, Tony, what's going on? How you doing? There is no training required in California. In California, you just have to register. So you go to your local recorder's office, you submit an application, you get fingerprinted. So you got to get a live scan fingerprint. You have to get a process server bond, and then you have to get these little passport photos. Got to get a couple of those. You submit those, and once your fingerprints come back, you're a registered process server. It's that easy. Costs about $300. Thank you for the likes. Costs about $300 in California to become a process server. Literally, that's it. $300 to start your own business. So the key is, once you do that, you got to get some training. And so that's one of the things that I'm doing is, if you're just kind of considering it, if you're on YouTube, down in the description, there's a link to my website. I'll give you a free ebook that I wrote titled How to Become a Process Server. If you're on TikTok, go to my profile up here, go to my website. You can get that same ebook, How to Become a Process Server. And it kind of covers the basics on what the business is, and things like that. It kind of covers the basics on what it takes. Some states have no requirements at all. You just say you're a process server and you're a process server. Let's be good friends. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Let's be good friends. And so there's really no requirements in some states to become a process server. You just get a business license and you're a process server. Some states like Texas, they require that you take a process server training course from a certified trainer that's certified in the state of Texas. Now, my course is not certified. I have a process server training course, but it's not certified in Texas. But you can take what you learn from my course and apply it to Texas, because service of process is basically the same concept nationwide. You're delivering legal papers to another party, and you have to be over the age of 18, not a party to the case, to deliver legal papers. And in California, I think you can do up to 10 before you have to get registered. And then once you become registered, then you can, serve as many as you want in California. And so, you know, what are some of the documents that we deliver? Anybody have an idea of some of the documents we deliver? Make a comment on some of the documents that we deliver. Restraining orders, yeah, that's right. We do deliver restraining orders. We deliver small claims papers as well. Subpoenas. Okay, yeah, small claims. Yeah, let's be good friends. Yeah, small claims. We deliver subpoenas for production of business records or the subpoena for you to show up in court. We deliver child custody papers. I've got one coming up where a parent out of state is trying to, divorce papers. Yep, we deliver divorce papers. I got some child custody papers coming up this weekend that I'm got to serve from an out of state client who's trying to serve his child's mother some child custody papers so he get the custody. He gets his visitation with his kid, and she's been violating those terms. And so I'm going to go serve her with the child custody papers. What are some other papers that people have been served? Okay, I'm just starting out trying to work my way through your course and book. One of the things I've heard from you is business domain names, even though they are all you. Yeah, that's one of my marketing strategies as a process server is how do you get the business? I have multiple websites all around targeting my main location, which is the Sacramento region, and targeting specific locations that I like to specialize in serving. And so to start out, do you know how to build a WordPress website? Because I use WordPress when I'm building my websites for my process server business. I use WordPress websites. And I'll buy a domain name with the keyword that I'm trying to rank for. So here is an example. I'm a process server in Sacramento. So Sacramento process server is a keyword that gets some searches. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes. Sacramento process server is a keyword that gets some searches. So I have the domain name sacramentoprocessserver.net. Now there's hyphens in between Sacramento and process server because somebody else already had it and I couldn't get the .com, but I got the .net. And so then I built a multi-page website on Sacramento process server. Okay, great. Well, that's what I use is WordPress. I like WordPress. It's pretty easy to set up, and I use HostGator to host some of my websites, and I use GoDaddy and a couple other hosting programs because I like to spread it out so that it's not all in one location. Because sometimes, every now and then GoDaddy has issues, but my HostGator sites don't have issues. And so I'll build websites around my specific targets. So another thing too is, Tony, do you have any registered agents for service or process in your area? And maybe I should ask, do you know what a registered agent for service or process is? Because what that is it's a location that accepts subpoenas and lawsuit papers on behalf of a corporation and an LLC. Because in every state, your corporation and your LLCs have to appoint a registered agent for service or process. So if you want to be a process server and you want to make good money, and you can get specialized in serving that location, they get served all day long. Literally, that's all they do is accept service or process, scan it in, and then email it to the client. That's all they do. And I found this location in Sacramento. It's called Corporation Service Company Doing Business as CSC Lawyers. And I was like, wow, this is super simple. Somebody hired me to deliver some documents there. I took them. And I didn't know what it really was at first. And then I would see people coming back with stacks this thick of papers. And I was like, how do I get that? Because if each one of them is paying me $125, I know that's more than one, you would think. And so I started, researching, marketing online. And I was like, well, What do people do? How do people find that location? How do people find that location? They'll go to the Secretary of State's website. They'll do a business search. The registered agent will come up. They'll copy the registered agent's name, and they'll go to Google and search for that name. And so when they search for that name, you want to show up on that page that says, "Hey, we serve documents to that location." So that's exactly what I did. And one of my secrets, I'm going to tell you a secret. Don't tell nobody. This is a secret. What I do is when I'm building a website on a niche, the URL of the website is the address. I make the URL the address. So 2710 Gateway Oaks Drive, Suite 150 in Sacramento, California, 95833.com. That's what I make the address, the URL as the address of the business. Because people will type in the address when they're searching in Google. And then my websites will show up. So literally, if somebody goes to Google right now and types in the company name and the address, I bet you my website will show up even before the company shows up, even before them. I get calls every day, people calling thinking that I'm that company because Google puts my phone number in place of that company's phone number because the way I word my websites. Do you need to serve documents to this location? If you do, call me. And so when people are going to Google, they just see my phone number and they call it thinking they're calling that company. And I convert probably 10 to 15% of those people because they're calling to find out how to serve documents there. Literally, that's one of my secrets is you specialize it, you niche your market down. You niche your market down. And just if you're a process server on here anyway, I'm in the finishing touches of writing my ebook about niche marketing for process servers. So you make sure you subscribe to my channel, follow me on TikTok. So when my book is available, you can get access to it. It's niche marketing for process servers. I haven't figured out the title just yet, but I'm putting the finishing touches on it. But it's basically teaches you exactly how to market to target locations and how to find locations. And also, I'll give you some locations already that you can do the same thing I do in Sacramento. You can do it in your jurisdiction if you're in that same city. Let's see what kind of questions that we got here. Washington does not require licensing, but I've looked, for instance, eBay has a registered agent in Olympia. I'm sure there are other law groups doing that. Okay. Olympia. So if you're in Olympia, one of the ways this is kind of one of the ways that you do it is you just make a list of the large businesses in Olympia. You go to your Secretary of State's website and you search them to see who their registered agent is. So that's what you do. And then you make a list of a lot of large other businesses like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Airbnb, all these large businesses, and you just run their business in the Secretary of State in your state to see who the registered agent is. And if that registered agent is in your city, then you target that registered agent with the marketing that you can learn in my ebook. Literally, you can learn how to do it in my ebook, and that's how you research to find those registered agents, because I specialize in registered agents. Because in Sacramento, there's like 10 of them. And I go to every one almost every other day. Literally, there's like 10 of them in Sacramento. And so, are there industries that lend themselves to requiring a registered agent? Every LLC and corporation has to identify an agent for service or process. It can be a business that's a registered agent company, or it can be a person. So, but everyone has to appoint somebody. So you go to your Secretary of State's website and you search that business name, and it'll tell you who their registered agent is. And it'll give you the registered agent's address as well. So if that address is in your location, then you're in a good position. You're in a good position. Any other questions? Okay. And so, let's see here. Another niche that you can target as a process server is government agencies. Government agencies. Do you have any government agencies in your service location? City governments, county governments, state governments. Because those agencies are served with lawsuit papers and they're served with subpoenas for business records. There are about 100 of those government agencies in Sacramento, which is where I am at. And I just made a list. I had to go through the state of California's government agency website, and then I had to find every agency and then copy and paste the agency name and their address. And so I'm going to add content on my WordPress websites targeting those agencies at those addresses. So I won't have a website for each agency, but each agency will have a page on my website. And so it'll go something like this. Do you need to serve documents to the California Department of Motor Vehicles located at this specific address? And I'll put some more text. Hi, my name is Lance Casey, and I'm a Sacramento process server. Keyword. Remember, I talk about keywords. I'm a Sacramento process server, and I'm hired routinely by attorneys and public and businesses to serve subpoenas and lawsuit papers to the California Department of Motor Vehicles located at whatever the address is. So if you need to serve documents to the California Department of Motor Vehicles, complete the form below, and there'll be a contact form, on that page where they can fill out their information, upload their documents, and then pay for it. If I have the contact form set up correctly, they'll be able to pay for it on there as well. And so, in reference to what a contact form is I use Gravity Forms as my contact form on my WordPress websites. I use Gravity Forms. Gravity Forms is a premium plugin. You got to pay for it, okay? But it's super simple to set up, and it integrates with payment processing programs like PayPal, Stripe, and so it makes it a lot simpler. So when a client fills out their information, which is going to be their name, their email address, their phone number, the case name, the defendant's name, the plaintiff, all the things that go into my process server software, they'll fill that out, and then I'm setting it up now on my most recent website where I'm actually integrating Stripe so they can actually pay for it on the form. And so I just set it up today because I'm running Google AdWords ads to target people serving in Sacramento. I'm running Google AdWords ads because I need some more serves to people, not just businesses. I need some more serves to people. Because I had a call today, and I'm not going to spill the beans, but you might see a lot of me a lot more places. And so I need to get some more content of me serving people. Yeah, I need content of me serving people. So I'm actually going to have a person riding with me to go serve, filming everything I do. Yeah. And so, but that's how I'm going to, that's basically one of the things is the contact management, the contact form with the payment integration. So then I don't have to send an invoice every time somebody wants to order service or process. Yeah, when somebody wants to order service or process, I don't have to fill out an invoice. So any questions, anybody? Anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? Okay, what do I charge? Okay. It depends on what they're serving. It depends on what they're serving, is what I charge. So that's basically the key to determine. It depends on what they're serving. In Sacramento, my rates start at $65 and go up. $65 is to serve registered agents if they go through my online form and fill it out and pay for it themselves. But if they don't go through that, it's $125. That's to go one trip, drop it off at a registered agent. To serve small claims, I charge to a person or a business that's not the registered agent, I charge $150. And that gets 3 attempts. To serve a restraining order is $250. To serve an eviction, well, unlawful detainer part of the eviction is $200. And those are the basic rates that I charge. And it's also based on how many attempts I have to make. Because like an unlawful detainer, I have to make 6 attempts. Because if you can't get them, you have to the owner the person that hired you will be able to take your declaration of diligence to the court and get a notice of posting so they can post it. But you have to have 6 attempts for that to happen. So that's why I charge more for unlawful detainer evictions. And in some jurisdictions charge more, and in some charge less. I know that if you're a process server and you work for one of those large companies, that's an alphabet company, I'm not going to say the name, but we know which one it is, they're only going to pay you $25 to go out there. $25, $30 to serve. And they might want 6 attempts. So, if you're working for one of those companies, you're going to have to get a lot of them if you want to make decent money. Now, I've made over $1,000 a day serving before. Literally, I've made over $1,000 a day as a process server serving documents. Okay, so you said you printed all the California forms to use as examples. It's hard to find what represents the same thing in your state. Okay. Is that normal? Is there much difference in forms state to state? Yes, there are. Yes, there are. So the easiest way to, when you're saying the forms, I'm assuming you're talking about the proof of service forms. So here's how you can figure out what proof of service forms are. Is if you can go get access to your local court records of all the various types of cases that are filed. So like small claims will probably have its own form. Unlawful detainers or evictions will probably have its own form. Complaint and summonses will have their own form. Civil lawsuits should have their own form. So go to the court, and you might even be able to do this online, and go back a few months and then just start pulling some of those records to look at the proof of service form that somebody else filled out. You find one that somebody else filled out, and then you can see the form number. And that's how you can determine the proof of service forms that are needed for that state. Now, another way to do it is, are you subscribed to Serve Manager, process serving software, Serve Manager? Because they have a lot of the forms in their database that integrate with their software. So you'd have to check. Let me see. You're in Washington? Let me just see if I can pull up something in Washington to see if they're on there. Let's see here. Let's go to one. We serve 4 today at C Corporation Service Company, CSC Lawyers. I haven't done the affidavits yet or the proof of service forms. Just depends on what state you're in. And so you're in Washington. Let's see. Washington, Declaration of Service. Yeah, I don't see Washington as one of the forms that's on here. So your best bet is to go to your courthouse and then pull some cases that are already filed and look at the proof of service forms that they used, and you just duplicate that. Just because you probably have like a court website that has all the forms. It is. I like that form. Now, the initial part is you have to enter the data. You have to enter the data in there. So literally when somebody goes to my website and fills out the contact form, the information that from that contact form is what I use, that it matches exact information that goes for the data that I need from them. So all I'm doing is copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. And then once the data is in there, then as soon as you show up and you click, you're going to do an attempt serve, or you're serving, you log in your attempt or your serve. It gives you a GPS tag that you were there. You can take a photo and attach it to the case, and then once you hit submit, it gets emailed to the client. Because that's one of the things I can't stand is clients calling me asking, what's going on with my case? Did you serve it yet? I don't have time to talk to you about what I'm doing. You should be able to get that. You should be able to get that. You'll get that information from an email. Because I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Zap, it doesn't work. Because they do. There is a Zap for it, but I haven't been able to figure it out. Because it does two things. It creates the company, and then it'll create the job, but I can't get it to do both. If that makes sense. It'll create the company or the job, but I can't get it to do both. Maybe I got to do two Zaps. And I'm just not good with it, so I just copy and paste. But having that automated would make it a lot better. It would make it a lot better. Yeah, and they do have an actual, when you sign up with them, they give you an actual form with a link that goes to their website that has the data, so you could literally send that link to your client, and then the client could fill it out, and that would populate your serve manager inside a serve manager, your case. But but they don't have it set up where I can just embed it on my website. So, and plus, when I create it, I capture those names and emails of the people that hire me and put it into my contact management software, and they start getting emails automatically because I want repeat business. I get a lot, 30-40% of my business is from people who are rehiring me to do their job again. And so they get emails from me every week or so. Hey, if you got something to serve, hey, I need a referral. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Hey, here's a video of this. Hey, this is what's going on. I've already pre-populated my software, and I use Aweber. I use Aweber as my contact, basically my email marketing software. And so Aweber integrates with Gravity Forms, so it automatically populates my Aweber. And you probably got an email, you might have gotten an email from me yourself, because once you're in my system, like I emailed everybody on my list that I'm going live tonight, and so you might have gotten that email. And so if you're just joining, if you people that don't know me, my name is Lance. I'm your Sacramento private investigator, and I'm a process server. And I make a living serving papers here in the Sacramento area. And I specialize in serving registered agents. That's my niche. Because I niche it down so that I can make one trip, deliver 4 or 5 sheet documents to one location, and be done. So that's what I do. Oh, I know it's going to come back. I already know. From that call I got today. I can't tell it. But that call I got today, it's going to come back. It's going to come back. I know it is. Because this business, there's so much business. It's not even funny. I mean, literally, how many cases are filed in court every day? How many? Literally, how many cases are filed in court every day? How many courtrooms do you have in your jurisdiction? How many courtrooms? Okay, I know in Sacramento you got small claims, you got family law, you got unlawful detainers, which is evictions, you got criminal court, you got civil court, you got probate court. All those courts. Cases are filed every day in those courts. And those cases have to be served. They got to be served. You got to serve them. So, literally, you got to serve them. And sometimes the people will hire the sheriff. But some jurisdictions, the sheriff is so busy, they don't have time to do it. Or it might take 3 weeks. So that's where you come as a process server, and you if they can contact you to go do it, Yeah, you're higher rate than the sheriff, but hey, it's got to be done. It's got to be done, and it's just unlimited. I mean, literally, and it never stops. It never stops. People are getting sued. They're getting divorced. They're getting restraining orders. I mean, they're going to jail. I mean, the process never stops. And if you can just get into the system so that people will be contacting you, then you can start making $100 every time, $150 every time your phone rings to go deliver some papers. And is it dangerous? Sometimes it can be, but you just got to be cautious. You got to be cautious. So is that the edge? There's more work in people to address the need. Yes, there is way too much work. But the thing is that with all this work, how do you get them to call you? That's the hardest part. How do you get them to call you? Literally, what do you do to get them to call you? Because think about it. Who's filing cases? Who's filing cases? It's attorneys' offices, and it's businesses, and it's pro se individual people. So how do you get an attorney to use you? What do you got to do to get an attorney to use you to serve their papers? What if you take a day, 5 hours every day? Because how many attorneys are there? I mean, literally, how many attorneys are there? There's thousands of attorneys. There's too many attorneys. So you get your business cards, you go drop off cards at attorneys' offices all day. You should get some. Eventually, somebody's going to be like, oh, I was just getting ready to call somebody. Thank you for coming by. You could do that. What I did when I first got started process serving, I was like, before I had all this internet money coming in, is I was like, well, how do I find people? Where do you find them? So I would go to the small claims court. Now, this is a little trick. I don't know if you can do it in your jurisdiction. In Sacramento, since COVID, they close everything down. So you can't get into the courtroom like you could before. But I think they're loosening things up. And so if you can do this is a sneaky trick. This is a sneaky trick. This is what you do. When somebody files small claims, it's done electronically. They submit the paperwork. However they do it, the court clerk scans a document in, and it gets put into their database. They had computers in the lobby where you could go and pull up those cases that were filed. Now, you had to figure out how to keep track of the case numbers because you search by case numbers. So you would find the most recent case numbers, and then I would go to the very most recent case number filed and then work backwards for like a week. So I would type in the case number, and then I would view the file, and I would go in with my phone and just take a picture of page 2 of the plaintiff's claim in order to go to small claims court, go to the prior case, page 2, prior case, page 2, prior case, page 2, and do that for about a week. And then I would log in the last case that I looked at and those cases that I did. And usually by the time I got through a week, I would go and there'd be a couple more cases added to it. So then I would take pictures of those and then log that down. And then I would go down into the lobby and I would actually call everybody on that list. Hey, I'm a process server. I see that you just filed small claims against such and such, such and such. And I was wanting to know if you have any questions about getting your documents served. And so that was my trick. I wasn't trying to sell them. I was just going to answer questions. Now, I am no attorney. This is not legal advice. If you need an attorney, you need to hire one. But I was, I'd answer questions about serving. And some people would say, oh, I've already got the sheriff to do it. Okay, good. Well, guess what? I'm going to send you a postcard. So if the sheriff is unsuccessful, I am a process. I have access to people's addresses that a lot of people don't. And I go on off hours because the sheriff is only going to go, Monday through Friday from 9 till 2, and they're real behind. So, I'll go on off hours when the person's going to be there. So if you're unsuccessful and you reschedule the court date, you can give me a call. So I would then fill out, I had a postcard already printed. And I just printed out postcards and, made some postcards. And so every time I talk to somebody, I just write their address on the card, name and address on the card, and I would call the next person and do the same spiel. And so you would be amazed. I would get 2 to 3 cases every day that way at $125 a pop by doing that work. Going to the courthouse, calling the people on the phone, and getting them to hire me to serve their documents. 2 to 3 a day. But I had to physically go there and pull that stuff up. Now, some counties, you may be able to do that from home. You might be able to access that information from home. Now, can you call people unsolicited? Is that a violation of some telephone rule? Well, you better check that out yourself. Because I don't have to do that anymore, because I get people calling me automatic. People reach out to me from the stuff I do online that want to hire me. Okay, so let me look at the messages here. Let's see these messages. Okay, do they number them consecutively? Most of the time, yes. Most of the time, yes. But they won't go, they might skip 3 or 4 numbers. And so the way that the court works here is that when you get to the last filing, then it would go to like 1989. So if I get to 1989, I went too far. So because that was like the first filing that they ever did. So that's how. So basically, I would just write down the last case number that I searched when I was there the day before. I would go back and start there, and then now work going the other direction until I got to the 1989. And then sometimes I'd get there and they didn't update it yet. And then I was like, oh man, I done came down here and sometimes, lots of times those computers are taken and you have to wait because you get a lot of people. You ever heard of like those judge shows like Judge Brown, Judge Judy and stuff like that? They get people they have independent representatives that are down there logging the plaintiff's and defendant's name and information. They're typing in a computer because they get sent letters trying to get people to show up on those shows. And so that's one of so you had to wait when they weren't in, there's only like 3 computers. So you had to kind of time when you went to get in there. And so if I went and they weren't updated yet, I would go up to the clerk, could you do me a favor and update it? And all he or she would do is hit a button and it would update the most recent records. But I don't know if you can get in there yet. I haven't checked, but I'm gonna actually do some training on that as well. Because I did some recording of it before, so I just have to put it together to kind of show you. Because the hardest part is figuring out the case number part. That's a lot of people are confused with that. It's just like, what's the case number? How do you find that last case number? Because that's your beginning, so you can start working. Because you only want the new ones. You don't want the ones that was filed a long time ago. You don't want those. But another one is if you see that the case went to court and it was dropped, lots of times it was dropped because of non-service. So once I expanded my list and I called everybody on that list, I would then look for the ones that had court coming up that didn't show a proof of service filed, or had court, within a couple of days, that was dropped for non-service because it states that on the case. And I says, hey, if you need me to look an address up or what happened? Why weren't they served? And people will talk to you. It's funny. They'll tell you the whole story, and I'm trying to build that relationship with them so that they'll use me to do their service, but now I do that like this, and then they hire me to do the service. Okay, what's the question? How do you find out the sheriff's charges? Is it a set fee, state regulated? I'm not sure if it's state regulated, but most of them are pretty much the same. If you go to your sheriff's department's website, their civil division, it should list their fees. It should list their fees. It should list their fees. And here's another little secret marketing tip. What's the address to the sheriff's department? Remember, the domain name is the address. because people are going to try to get there. If they trying to find the sheriff's department, and they come across your website, and it's like, oh, well, here's a process server. He says he'll do it for me. You know, he'll meet me to pick the documents up, because that's something what I was doing too. Is I would meet people to get documents, and you don't got to go to sheriff. You don't take it to them. I'll meet you to get them. That was one of my selling points when I was doing the small claims actions. I'll come and meet you to get them. Yeah, that's a little secret. Build a website around the sheriff's department address. I'm giving away these little marketing secrets. Let's see what else. Could you initiate a small claims to get a courthouse number 7 to just let it slide? I kind of don't understand that. Well, one of the things you could do is just go to stand in line and ask the clerk, what's the most recent number? And they'll tell you. They'll tell you. And then you just have to start from there. And then just, get in the index and just start from there. Okay. And you said, yeah, you've been, okay, Scott Hickman, I've been serving for 20 years in Dallas, mostly family. I would love to gain my registered agent CT Corp serves. What would you suggest? So, CT Corp in Dallas has a name and an address. Build a website, using the address as your domain name for the website. Go to CT Corp, take some pictures outside of this building, of the name on the kiosk. Make some videos of you walking up, serving documents there. Even if you're not, just, hey, this is, what's your name? Scott. I'm a process server in Dallas, Texas. I was hired today to serve CT Corp by a law firm and whatnot. So if you need to serve CT Corp, they're located at such and such, such and such. But you got to be consistent. You can't just do it once. You have to be consistent. And so every day I go to CSC Lawyers in Sacramento, I make at least one video. And upload that onto my YouTube channel. Okay? And the title of the video, I don't use the company name in the title because they have copyright or trademark issues that I've gotten people, they didn't call me and sent me letters and stuff about, so I don't use that. I'll put it in the description. Okay, so you're there once a day, and if you're serving something, make a video. Literally, make a video, upload it into YouTube, upload it onto Facebook, write an article, which can just be a little blurb with an image, and put it onto Instagram. And then, but you got to be consistent. You got to do it all the time. You can't stop. You got to do it all the time. And that's how you rank for CT Corporation. Because I'm going to tell you, the term CT Corporation is not hard to rank for. It's not hard. Google treats it's pretty simple. You have a website and you write a few articles about it and you put some videos about it, you're going to show up on page 1. It's not that hard. I don't even really target CT Corp because it's not in my area, but I have a few articles and things like that, and I get 2 or 3 a month for down in LA. And I just outsource those to, other agents that are in my net, or other process servers that are in my network. We split the money. And so that's the thing though, is you got to be consistent. Make the videos, and do that. So, Scott, put your URL of your website in the comment. I'm going to take a look at it to see what you can do different with your website. Or somebody put their website in a comment. Post your website in a comment. And what city you're in, and I'll do a little quick research to see what I can do to help you market your website a little better. No website? Okay, you got to get one. And I I recommend that you learn how to work with a WordPress website, and not depend on somebody else to do it for you, because you're gonna have to make content and put it on there every day, or a lot of time. Because I spend 80% of my time marketing my business, which is working on my website, social media, and videos. That's 80% of my time, and 20% is spent out serving. So literally, that's how I get all these serves to one location. And I don't have to go chasing small claims down. I don't have to go chasing restraining orders down. I go to one location, take 5 or 6, 4 or 5, and be done. And registered agents is easy. It's easy. But I'm getting ready. I'm marketing now to get people. Because I need some content of me out serving some things. I need some content of me out serving some people on some excitement. I want to get some excitement, some foot chases and dogs barking, stuff like that. Yep. And so, any other questions? How are you getting your cases, Scott? What are you doing to get your cases right now? What are you doing to get your cases? Okay, I'm doing a keyword research right now just on the CT case. Does a registered agent have to have an office in the entity's county? No, it doesn't have to be in the county. No, it just has to be in the state, but not in that specific county. What was the other one here? Okay, you have a bunch of clients that use you regularly. Okay, like attorneys and businesses probably, and people. Okay. Yeah, because like a keyword research on going to the courthouse and going to attorney's offices, literally that you got to pound the pavement. You got to pound the pavement. I call it pound the pavement. You get out there and you pass that stuff out, and people will hire you. They will hire you to do the work, literally. And then once they use you, they'll continue to use you, especially if you offer good service. But what if you could pound the pavement without having to leave a house? Literally, if you could do the same, you put pound pavement without leaving the house for those CT corps. Because I know in Sacramento, people that are serving corporation service company, they're not local. They're out of town. They're, other states and other cities that are serving them. So there is no pounding the pavement for those kind of cases here in Sacramento. It's all online because they're searching online on finding how to serve those locations, and they come across my videos and my YouTube channels. That's how that I came across it. So I'm looking right now on a CT Corporation keywords, and so the term CT Corporation Dallas gets 110 searches a month. And then CT Corporation System Dallas gets 70 searches a month. And then CT Corporation Dallas, Texas gets 40 searches a month. I'm up to over 75 papers a month. Okay, that's great. That is awesome. That's awesome. You're living off of that. And what kind are they? Mostly like divorces, small claims? What kind of cases are they? Family law. Okay. Literally. And so literally, and that's basically just in divorce papers and custody papers, I bet you. You know, I use semrush.com, semrush.com. That's who I use for my keyword research. Cost me, I think, $100 a month, but literally it helps me out when I'm trying to come up with some terms to work. Okay, Christine, you want to learn, what is that here? Oops. How to set up a process server agency to manage other servers. That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't have a program for that, but that's because I get several of them a week that I have to outsource to other servers, and keeping track is a pain. It's a pain keeping track of who's doing what, who's doing this and that. So what I do is I enter everyone into Serve Manager, which is the process serving software that I use, and I just create a client, which is this process server with their name and information, so I know who got the job. And some of the process servers will, because what I do is I invite them to collaborate. Some will, collaborate with me. Some won't. But what they have to do is when they make the server the attempts, they got to send me an email, and then I'll go in and physically type that information into Serve Manager, so that the client will get the email as to what happened. So the client will get an email as to what happened. So I'm not emailing the client, I'm putting it into Serve Manager, and then Serve Manager then emails the client. And also that also keeps track of how much, because you can put down how much you're going to pay that process server as well for the serves. Okay, so you're in Florida and Alabama. Okay, and you're looking to start a company doing it. Okay, great idea. Great idea. Great idea. And my thing is I get a lot of serves out of town as well, and I outsource all of them. I don't make employees, though. They got to be independent contractors. Okay, so you're a server already. Okay, great. Great. Now, are you a server in both states? For ABC local? Okay. Or illegal. The alphabet soup. The alphabet soup. Okay. What are they paying you per serve out there? Because I know out here they pay like $25, $30 a serve. But they get a lot of them. So if you're getting a lot of them, that can make up the difference. And if you're new, my name is Lance. I'm your Sacramento private investigator and process server. I'm a process server trainer and mentor. And I help people become process servers, and I help them market their process server businesses so that they can make more money. Because this is an industry that there's an unlimited supply of cases. Unlimited. There's so many cases going on in court, it's not even funny. And if you can get into that niche and get a niche to serve, or find somebody that's going to hire you all the time and give you that access to that, it's great. It's great. Okay, so let me look at these things here. Okay, 25 to 60. Okay. And then Scott is saying it's $25 in Dallas. And they probably want 6 attempts. How do I access the private database to find people that were allowed? What is this? To use. How do I access the private database to find people that we are allowed to use? Which private database? I need to access that info for another business. Like finding somebody's address? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. That's basically a skip trace program, and I use I have a couple of them. Locate Plus is the one that I use. And then what is the other one? Is it? Hold on, I'll tell you here. I use Locate Plus, and Locate Plus has a yes, you do. Yes, you do have access. Now they may have to come out and do an site inspection to make sure that you have you're a real business and you got a file cabinet, a shredding, shredder. You can't use the room for something else, so you may have to empty the room to get the inspection, and but they may have to do an inspection, but you can have access. Now you may not be able to get full social security numbers, but you'll probably be able to get truncated ones. And then the other one I use is, hold on, idicore.com. idicore.com. And Locate Plus, I think, is like $90 a month, unlimited searches. And IDI Core is $3-4 a search. Yeah, it's $3 or $4 a search. But yeah, they do allow access as process servers. Now, I'm no attorney. It's not legal advice. Call them and check with them, because I'm a private investigator, so I get a little more access than process servers do. But I'm pretty certain that they give process servers access as well. I'm pretty sure they give process servers access as well. Any other questions? Because we're coming up on an hour, and we're going to cut it off here in a little bit. And so, if you want to learn about becoming a process server, and you're not one yet, and you want to get some training, in the description below on Facebook and on TikTok, and in my bio, in my bio, there's I give away a free ebook, How to Become a Process Server. And I also offer an online process server training program. Teach you who to serve, how to serve, and how to fill out the paperwork. So if you are on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the bell notification so you can be notified of when I'm coming live and the videos that I'm uploading. And I'm putting the finishing touches on an ebook that on how to market your process server business, niche marketing for process servers, because that's what I do. I niche market. I find a specific niche, and that's what I go after. So Christy, you need to make sure you get this book when I put it out, because it depends on what city you're in. I'm going to give you some locations to target. If you're in the cities that I tell you about, these locations of registered agents, I'm going to give you the cities that I target, and you just follow the steps. Literally, you follow the steps one by one. You just do what I do. Literally, you do what I do, and then you do it in your area, and you just change the name, and you put, and everybody, I make videos of my face. I'm not the best looking dude, but I don't care, because people are calling me. Yeah, I saw you on Facebook, or I saw you on YouTube. Okay, and I'd be like, how much money are you paying me? How much are you gonna give me for seeing me on Facebook? I'm putting the final finishing touches up on it. I got to figure out the title, and I got to make the thing. So it should be in a couple of weeks, if not. It should be in a couple of weeks, if not. So make sure it's. I don't have the link yet for where it'll be posted yet, but make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Now, have you been getting emails from me? Have you been getting my emails letting you know when I go live and stuff like that? Because you need to join my Facebook groups. And I'm gonna put links to my Facebook groups in the description after I get off of here. Yes, basically. So send me an email, Christy. If you're getting emails, send me an email, and we'll set up a Zoom meeting. We can kind of talk about, what you're looking at, and then give you some pointers on getting some more, your own clients, and see if I can help you out with this other business that you're trying to set up. because this processor, I mean, it's easy. I mean, it's easy. I love it. It's not even. I mean, sometimes it's dangerous, sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's kind of spooky, but if you got a niche market and you serving a bank, ooh, what are you gonna do? What is that? Are you gonna go to an office complex and just walk up to the first desk? Here you go, and you're done. And you're doing 6 or 7 of them at a time. Each one's paying you $100. And that's what I teach you in my book. The new book that's coming out. Businesses is simple. Oh, it's simple. I mean, especially registered agents. If you can find a registered agent that gets served all the time, yeah. All you do is walk in, drop it off, and leave, and your phone is ringing because somebody else is wanting to serve them again. You know, you ever been out in the field and you serve someplace and then somebody else calls you and they need it done again today and you ain't got time to go home? And I don't have a printer in my car, so I'm sending them an email or an invoice from my phone, and then I go to FedEx I'll forward the email that they sent the documents to FedEx Kinko's, and then go print the documents up and then go right back and serve them. FedEx Kinko's, yep. Literally, it's like 2 miles from CSC Lawyers in Sacramento. And I just, you want me to say, I'm here now. Boop, FedEx Kinko's, go down there, print the documents and run back and get them before they close. Literally. And it's without having to go back home to the printer. Just do it in FedEx Kinko's, just work out of my car. You know, but normally I have them all done before. Yeah, they know you. Okay. Normally I have them all done, printed out in a nice file folder, you know, with the case information on it, you know, already ready before I go. But if I get that call and I'm out in the field, and for me to do that, that's a rush. So that's an extra $100. So that's 125 plus another $100. So that's 225 for me to serve your documents today. And all I'm doing is walking in and dropping it off and leaving. And you want to know how I made $1,000 serving papers in a day? That's it. Going to one location, you know. Now serving people, yeah, you can do that too. Oh, there's another one that only pays $15. This is what you do. This is what so if you're working for somebody already and they're giving you the cases, you just treat it like you're a spy. Who are you serving? Are you serving any businesses for them? Make you a list. Are you going to the same place more than once? You know, are you going to the same place more than once? Literally, are you going to the same place more than once? Make you a list, because if you go in there more than once, they're getting served a lot. Build some contact. When that book is going to teach you how to do that. You're basically a spy. You go in and serve for $15, but they keep you going to one's place. You know, that you serve there all the time, and then you just build some content online. And so now when somebody's looking to serve that company, now it's not going to be the same people that hired you through the other company to be new people. They're going to find your website, and you know, because you found that location. I find locations like that all the time. Like I just found one the other day. It's a collection agency. Now, not serving for them. People sue them because the collection agency came after these people. So literally, people sue them. So I was like, so I did a keyword research with the collection agency name in my database thing here. Found out that a lot of people are searching for that address and the name. And I built content online. So now if you go to Google and you search that company name and address, you're going to see my face in a bunch of videos, and you're going to see some content online, you know, just like that. And Cognizant Global is another, and you do the same thing with Cognizant Global. Exactly. Not the businesses that are having people served, the businesses that are being served. And CSC Lawyers is another one that's a niche market. They got an address. Your URL is the address in Dallas. Yep. And you probably got a whole bunch of state agencies in Dallas also. UServe pays you $27. Okay. Okay. So you getting, you making something. But I'm not leaving my house for $27. Nope. I ain't leaving my house for $27. But I have my phone ringing, enough. Now, you're making 6 to 10K a month serving for ABC. Okay. How many serves is that? And just think if half of those were yours, paying you $150 a case. How much would it be then? Just think half of those number of cases were your cases that you got, paying you $100 a month. Literally, I know it's a lot. I mean, you working probably 15 hours a day doing that. Okay. And so, so basically I get all my business online. I get all my business online from people searching for the keywords of the niche markets that I serve at, that I specialize and serve at, which is government agencies and registered agents here in my city. That's what 80% of the serves, that's what I do. Government agencies and registered agents. And there's like 12 of registered agents in Sacramento, and I only really market for 2. I'm in the process of building content for other ones, but I only really market for 2 of them. And I market for like 3 government agencies, and I'm at these places every other day. I'm gonna in the description when we get off of here, I'm gonna put a link to a hosting program. I get a little affiliate link, but I use HostGator to host my websites, and they give you a free domain name as well. And then I also put a link to a video that I teach you how to build a WordPress website. I'll teach you how to build a WordPress website. So you just follow the directions, and I'll teach you how to build a WordPress website. What about the companies that are always sending servers to the businesses I serve for? I could contact the courthouse and see if they want me to serve these notices to appear. Let's see, let me read that again. What about the companies that are always sending servers through the businesses I serve for? I don't know about contacting those companies directly because you don't want to burn any bridges. I would go after locations that you go to the locations that you're repeatedly going to. So if you're going to the same address, let's say you're going to a hospital, delivering subpoenas for records to a hospital for ABC, and they send you there multiple times. Lots of people are submitting documents that go to that hospital. You build content around that hospital. And then now you'll get those people that are trying to subpoena or serve record documents to that hospital. That's how you do it. You don't try to steal their customers. You go after new customers. See what I'm saying? So wherever you've been multiple times, it's like, oh, I'm going to Kaiser Hospital every week to serve documents for ABC. Well, guess what? You build a website, how to serve documents to KaiserHospital.com. You got some YouTube videos. How do you do this? That's what I'm saying. You basically using them to get information as to where they're going, and you just build content around that. Now, when you build the content, it's going to take 3 to 4 months, 5 months before it even shows up in the search results. So just don't think it's going to be instantaneous. It's going to take a while before it actually shows up. Okay? It's going to take a while before it actually shows up. But that's why you can never stop. You can never stop. So every day you're making videos. Every day you make videos and you're adding content to your websites every day as best you can. That's the key. It's got to be consistent. It's got to be consistent. Yes. It's got to be consistent. Let's see here. Yeah. But yeah, this book, you cover it. You just follow the steps in the book. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Um, Follow me on social media because you got to. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm on social media and I post everything on social media. Because here's the thing: every time I post something on social media, I put the URL to my website. I'm gonna put the description to my Facebook page in the description once I get off this live. So information on my Facebook page, my Facebook groups, how to set up the website, and then the hosting plan for the website will be in there as well. Um, and then I haven't set up the book, the page for the book yet. I still got to come up with a title and stuff like that, and a picture and everything. But so as long as you're getting emails from me, you're going to get an email about the book, and it'll be posted on my social media channels, and I'm gonna make a video of it too. So when I go live on YouTube, um, it'll be booked. I mean, that's a good title right there. Marketing Secrets for Process Server. That's my title. Nice to meet you too. Nice to meet you too. But yeah, but basically it's niche marketing. It's really a niche marketing. It's finding a location and finding a location and just targeting that location so that you get the clients that want to hire you to do to do the serves at that location. But if you're working for ABC and Elemental P and QRSTUV, use them to figure out where the serves are going. When you go someplace multiple times, other people are serving that location as well. So you build content online about serving that location, and eventually people will start to reach out to you to serve that location. Okay, so it's mostly individuals, and I understand because they get like contracts with like collection agencies and the government, child support stuff. So yeah, it is mostly, people. But if you get, okay, and so if you're not getting a bunch of repeats, then you got to find those locations. Like, are there any hospitals in where you go? You ever been to a hospital to serve documents? Okay, so. Yeah, tough papers. I know it are because most of the time the collections they done change addresses, and it's usually you just going for show. That's what I call it. I already know I'm not gonna get you, but I'm gonna still give you my 3 attempts and write up a declaration of diligence. That's what them kind of cases is like. Well, already the house is. I already know he don't live here no more, or he moved or something. But I don't. My thing is I'm just. They ain't paying for guarantee. Oh, yeah. You wish you could do. You got to do what? 6 attempts, 7 attempts, Christy? No, thank you. For $30? No. No thanks. No thanks. But you got to do what you got to do to pay the bills. Literally, you got to do what you got to do. So that's Oh, you go 4 times in Dallas? Okay. And what do you charge? What's your rate in Dallas that you're charging to go? Let's just say serve divorce papers. What do you charge? $75? Okay. And I charge my rate for divorce papers is $150. But I'm actually lowering my rates. $45 for additional papers. Okay. But I'm actually lowering my rates if they fill out a contact form on my website and pay through the contact form on one of my websites. Because I actually just did some Google AdWords. Because I need more to serve people. I need more people because I need some content of some more exciting things for stuff that's coming up. And so I need more people serves. So I'm gonna lower the price. I could do it for free, just to get that content. But no, let me charge a little bit. And so I lowered the price so I can, get some people serves. And so mine is gonna be, I think it's what, $85. I think it's $65 to serve a registered agent, and then it's $85 for routine serve anything, and then next day is $125, and then same day is like $185 or something like that. on if they fill out the website and pay on the website without me having to do anything. So that's the rate. Otherwise, it's 125 to serve a registered agent, 150 to serve a person or some small claims, divorce papers, or restraining orders, 250, and then unlawful detainer, which is an eviction, is 200 because they got to have 6 attempts. And then hard to serve. You guys ever do any stakeouts? You ever do any stakeout, sirs? What do you charge for a stakeout? You got to sit outside and hide. What do you charge, Scott? 150 an hour? Okay. Yeah, I charge $500 or $600 for a stakeout. And that gets you 6 hours of surveillance, 2 hours on 3 different days. Literally, 2 hours on 3 different days. And here's the thing. I don't do it. I find somebody else to sit outside for me, and I just split the money. I just split the money. I don't do it. I'm not sitting out there in the hot sun if I don't have to. I split the money and let them do it. Because you ain't probably going to get them anyway. Okay. Mm-hmm. 10 hours with no results. I understand. Literally. You just twiddling your thumbs. Because most of the time you ain't going to get them anyway. Okay. Yep. And some of the people, actually a couple of the people that I outsource the work to, I train them. Literally, I trained them. You know, one of the guys, I actually served some papers for him, and he's like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Well, I'm a process server." You know, I actually trained him how to be a process server. You know, and I got a couple people that that I've trained that but basically, when I outsource, most of my work is to some of my students or people in my network. So if you're a part of my Facebook group, I'll send a blast out to that. Says, "Hey, I got a job if you're interested." And usually the people that have taken my course, they will get the job. You know. Okay, you do it for a small fee, I get 50%. Okay. Yeah, I get 50%. Because literally, what I charge, this is my rate. If it's not in my area, it's $250. If it's not in my area, it's $250. Okay, you give 40%. Okay. Yeah, so that's my rate, $250. If they want me to, because I'm in Sacramento, if they want me to serve in Oakland or Santa Cruz, San Jose, Dallas, Texas. I just had one in Tempe, Arizona, and that one was a restraining order, and they paid me $300, and I gave it to somebody else for $150, and they was happy because the hardest part is getting the client. The hardest part is getting the client. You know, the hardest part is getting the client. So your website. What's your URL on your website, Christy? Put your website URL in the description. I want to take a look at it. Let's see here. On 3 years. Well, if it's been up for 3 years, you should be getting some rankings. It's easier to rank your website when it's up there for a while. It's not listed on a database. Okay, well that's one of the things is, when you're a process server and you're trying to get people online, you got to be in Google, you got to be in Yelp, you got to be in Yellow Pages, you got to be everywhere, literally everywhere. I have my own process server databases that I created just so I can have listings of my process server businesses. Because I have several different business names for my process server businesses. And each one is a keyword that people are searching for. So I have my main one, lancecasey.com. Then I have Process Server Sacramento County. Then I have Sacramento Process with Sacramento Process Server.net, and then Process Server.net, and Best Process Server Sacramento.com, and Cheap Process Server Sacramento.com, and Service of Process.com. And so, I have and then I have several different Google My Business listings for all of them. And here's the thing too, is once you have your Google My Business listing on your websites, your main one, not the niche website, but the main website should have neighborhoods content about neighborhoods, not just cities, but neighborhoods. Because what'll happen is somebody in a neighborhood will type in process server, and then you will show up easy on the Google My Business listing when you don't show up on the first page when somebody searches process server in the main city. They'll type in the neighborhood, and then you'll show up a lot better. It's easier to rank for neighborhoods. Yeah, so basically my processor, not the niche websites, but my process server websites, they all have pages for neighborhoods. And then they all have pages for the niche websites as well. Yep, they all have pages for the neighborhoods, and they have pages for the niche websites. So that's one of the things that I do with my my process server marketing online. He blocked you in his driveway, but you pulled your car in his driveway? Oh, you had to call the cops? Okay. Yeah, I haven't had to call the police. It was at the end of a gate. Okay. Yeah, I haven't had to call the police before. I only had one situation where I thought it was going to get physical, but I had lied to get him to show up. And then once he figured out who I was and I wasn't backing down, he calmed down. But I've had people run from me. I've had them not open the door. I've had them let dogs out on me. His but other than that, most of the time it's boring. Most of the time it's boring. Yeah, most of the time it's boring. But we've been on here an hour and 24 minutes. You had a kindergarten teacher follow you to the police station. Okay. You wear your on a lancet around your neck. Your license on a lancet around your neck. Okay. And here's what I do, because I used to wear my license with something around my neck, but I had to show it to somebody, and he took it and was looking at it. He could have literally just did me like that if he wanted to. So what I do now is I have a clip, alligator clip, with a cord with my license attached to it. So you can just pull it and see it. So if he tried, you ain't gonna be able to choke me now because it's around my neck. Because I don't want, because literally you can somebody control you by doing that. So to avoid that, I just have it. Let me see if I can get it. Is it in here? Yep, here it is. See, it's got an alligator clip, and I can just clip it, to my chain. And here you go, versus having it around this. If they grab this, it's just gonna pull off. And but otherwise they had that around my neck, they could choke me out. And I because trying to get out of that would be super hard. Yeah, trying to get out of that would be super hard. So to avoid that, nothing's on a chain or any kind of rope around my neck. Nothing's around my neck, because people want to see it, and be like, here, so. And I got this. I think I got this at FedEx, Kinko's. And then I think I got this at FedEx, Kinko's too. The little clip thing here, and then this is just a case, a little plastic case that you slide your ID in. It already had the little slit. And so this is what how I clip this on my shirt. And this is when I go up to a house, who is it? I just go, through the peephole. That makes you look official. Makes you look official. But I've been saying I'm getting off this live. I'm gone. I got to get those links in the description. You'll be able to get your website information on there. You'll see my process server website. You'll see the links to my social media channels also. So give me about 10 minutes once we get off of here. Go back to this. Have a great evening. Thank you for participating. I'm probably going to do this like every couple of nights. So if you want to, join me, I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Follow me on TikTok if you're on TikTok, and click that bell notification so you can be notified when I upload additional videos. And sometimes I go live when I'm out in the street and you can see me, what's going on. And so, hey, have a great evening. Good night.